Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We have another vlog on the Red Sea Reefer G2 350. We're going to get this slide-out control panel mounted and the rest of the equipment installed. Okay, so I've unboxed this. We've got the panel right here, a couple of sliding brackets similar to what you see on your dresser drawers, if you will. We got a nice stencil or template here that we can just tape to the side of the inner cabinet and drill our pilot holes, and then some hardware, and then these four brackets here are kind of like risers so that the control panel extends out a little bit from the side panel or side wall of the inner cabinet, so you can move it in and out and it doesn't hit anything. So let's get this puppy installed. Okay, so I got the template up, taped up and squared off for a right side facing slide out panel. We'll drill the pilot holes and get on to the next step. Okay, I've got the four risers that extend out from the side panel or side wall of the cabinet. And I'm going to mount the two sliding brackets to those risers. Okay, I've got the two sliding brackets mounted on the risers. Let's get the panel test fitted, make sure it slides smoothly. Alright, she's installed. I'd have to say it's pretty plug and play, more than I thought it would be. So pretty easy installation, slides out very smoothly, and you can take it off and mount whatever you want to mount on it. We'll make some headway on that next, and then slide it back in, and the door shuts flush. Looks good. No gaps. Not bad. Okay, let's get the brain going and the rest of the electronics set up. Alright, so I got the slide out control panel installed. She works pretty good. A little small. There's a bigger one, but it didn't act like it could fit in this tank, I thought. But I think it's the 60 and this is a 25. But I've got a couple of controllers here for my MP40s, the brain, if you will, the 32 I don't know what they call it, energy bar 32 or something, all my outlets, and I got a little space below here. I kept maybe dosing pumps will go there. I was thinking Red Sea dosing pumps. I've used the cheapo BRS pumps and they were okay in the past for dosing 2-part. Red Sea, the pumps I was looking at, the reviews weren't too great. So if you have ideas on dosers, maybe I go with Apex. Get those dosing pumps. And then cord management's getting a little better. Still got a ways to go. Down here, this will give me some room to keep my 2-part down there. Have a little bit of room. I've got the auto top-off reservoir over here. Metal halide ballast, so yes, there's some negatives to that. The old school technology does take up some space and adds a little heat. I threw in a small power head as recommended to keep this RODI water kind of moving. Someone said that they had some slime issue build up, so that should keep the water moving and keep things from being too stale. And then someone also recommended the auto top off water before I was feeding it down here where the return the overflow drains are, and by the time you would fill water here and it would circulate throughout the sump to where the sensor is, you may overfill the tank and have some salinity issues. So it was recommended I put the feed of the auto top off pump in a clear tube here to go back in the return chamber. It's mounted pretty high, so I won't have any siphon issues. It's higher than the reservoir, so that's good. And I just have some clear tubing it feeds into here that I use actually for my return, but had a spare piece. And it goes down pretty low to prevent splashing. Feeds down in there, and that should hopefully fill the return chamber and not overfill the sump where we get too much salinity fluctuation. Now, one other thing I've done is I picked up a surge protector. I think, let's see, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outlets, so it's not bad. But it has this kind of low profile backing plate, and it was nice. A little bit less intrusive, or I got a 3-year-old, so I don't want him coming over here and just pulling this out. And I split the tank between this outlet and another outlet on this side because they're on different circuits. And when you're running a lot of light heaters, two heaters, and among other things, I always like to have my tanks on multiple circuits, so that's why I'm kind of flanking 2 outlets and why this is showing. But I'm happy with that. It's not too bad. Another small addition are these little bar lights, LED lights. They come with a magnetic kind of backing. You can just, I think it's kind of like sticky or double-sided tape on that piece of metal, and you can just stick it up there. And they do have a feature where they go on with movement, but I just always just turn them on. But they're cheap off Amazon. I got a couple of those just to light this up a little bit. But once we get the refugium light in here, well, that'll be all probably red anyway, but give me a little bit of light to see. I probably should have picked one up and threw one on this side too, so maybe I will do that. But that was a little handy upgrade I did recently as well. One other thing I'm kind of struggling with right now is my salinity probe, sorry, my pH probe. I tried to calibrate it using the 7.0 solution, and it couldn't get an acceptable level. So I ordered some new pH solution. This Apex I have, this system is the EL, so it's older. It was unopened, so the pH probe could just be bad too. I'm not sure, but I've got some new solution coming. We'll try to get it calibrated. Maybe it's a solution, and then if not, I'll try a new probe. And the other kind of negative thing of buying stuff used or older is one of the power supplies for my Vortec pumps, my MP40s. You can see the green light isn't as bright. I don't think you can pick it up, but it makes a sound, kind of a high-pitched sound. So something's up with that power supply. So I went ahead and ordered another one. It was a little odd, and I don't want to deal with that down the road. So got a new power supply coming. We'll get that taken care of too. So a couple of side effects, I suppose, of buying used is you save a little money, but sometimes you don't. You end up having to buy more stuff. Alright, that's all the updates. We will have fish in this tank pretty soon. That should be my next update. It's getting a little life in here. And then once we get a couple fish, we will work on the biome. BRS has a great series on establishing the biome, especially when you use sterile rock, like this Marco rock. And I need all the help I can get. I need some pods, need some rubble, maybe some live sands for some good sources that they recommended. Get that biome established, help with the diatom blue, but more importantly, if I can, and I may not be able to, ease my mind about dinos. Because I am worried about dinos. I just have seen them so much lately, the last 5 or 10 years, and it may be partly because we're starting with sterile tanks so much nowadays. Well, there she is, guys. Thanks so much for following me on this journey. Stay tuned for another update. We'll get some fish in this tank. Peace out.